Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning, and welcome to another Hobby Hangout video, guys. This is going to be a very special one today as we are prepping for the first ever boss strike of Battle Nations Rechartered. And with that, I'm going to give you 10 tips to absolutely dominate in this first boss strike and help you and your guild get to tier 10. So with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and start with number one here. And the first one's going to be is that you're going to be hearing about a lot of different units to get ranked up. You're going to need this unit for boss strike. You're going to be that unit for boss strike. But guys, we only have 6 days until boss strike. So tip number one is going to be if you need 2 units to get ranked up, it is going to be your Wimp. Get that to R6. And then the next one's going to be your UMGs. Get those to R6 as well. I promise you, if you follow these next 9 tips and have these both R6 and you're slacking on your other units, you will still be able to dominate in boss strike and help get your guild to tier 10 and beyond. And to piggyback off of tip number one, we're going to move on to tip number 2, which is mass produce those Wimps and UMGs. See, they're not going to be very effective if you only have 5 of each. I'm talking no specific number here. Just for the next 6 days, all you need to do is go to your vehicle factories and collect those UMGs and go to your barracks and collect those Wimps and then rinse and repeat. Toss another one in there, guys. There's going to be no specific number. Again, we don't know too much about this boss strike. There are plenty of guesses we can make. But tip number 2 is just going to be continuously mass produce those Wimps and those UMGs up until boss strike and even through that boss strike. That makes sure that you have plenty of them ready to go. Now, moving on to tip number 3, and this might seem obvious, but this video is for everyone, players who are veterans and players who are new, and that is going to be make sure you join a guild by Wednesday, December 17th. So if you need to find a guild, you're going to go to this little icon right here in the corner, click that. And my recommendation for a guild is, number one, you might want to look in the Discord or the Reddit, find a place that's nice for you. But if you're truly just going off of the guild finder, which is this right here, I would recommend you look for a guild that is minimum level 10. It is very easy to get to level 10 as a guild, and it shows that the guild is somewhat active. So I'm going to set my minimum level to 10, my maximum level to 80. I'm going to go ahead and click search. I'm going to scroll through here, scroll randomly. So just taking a look right here, we have KSVL. That looks like an interesting one. It will say a description right there. So if there are any prerequisites, you can look at that. And with that, you can go ahead and apply, or if it's an open guild, you can go ahead and join. So make sure to get in that guild. That is tip number 3 for this boss strike. Tip number 4 is going to be, we're going to get into the numbers of boss strike a little bit. So with these numbers, these are from the previous Yuzul, the Raptor trainer boss strikes. The point system could be entirely new, so take this with a grain of salt. It could change once boss strike releases. But to get to tier 12, you heard that right, tier 12 of boss strike, it takes about 45 million boss strike points. Now, if you were to complete a full wave, a full attack, you are going to get about 5,000 boss strike points, meaning that if you did 105 wave attacks, you get 500,000 boss strike points. And if everyone in your 100 guild alliance did that, that is going to give you 50 million boss strike points. And that means you'd be well past tier 12. Now, we are not sure if guild waiting is going to be on or not. And guild waiting means that if you have less people in your guild, for example, if you have 80 people in your guild instead of 100 people in your guild, everyone gets a little more boss strike points, or the boss strike points count for more to adjust for that lack of numbers. So all that being said, tip number 4 is, I think a good number as of right now with what we know to aim for is going to be 500,000 boss strike points. That's 100 battles completed all the way through. Or probably more battles completed, just depending on how far you make it in. But 500,000, I think, is a reasonable goal. Try and get there. It's a goal to set for yourself. And again, that could change given more information that comes out. Alrighty, guys. Tip number 5 is going to be, do not retreat when you are fighting in a boss strike battle. Now, what does that mean? There are going to be 5 waves of this boss strike battle. If you finish and you beat all 5 waves, you get boss strike points. all of your units die when fighting through these 5 waves, you get boss strike points off of the units that you've killed. But if you get to wave 3 and you've lost a couple of units, do not retreat. Just go all the way through as much as you can, unless you absolutely have to, just to make sure you're getting those boss strike points. You don't want to have lost units and then also get 0 boss strike points. So again, tip number 5 is either go all the way through, or once you have a loss, make sure to go until you have all losses. Only exception is if you haven't lost a unit, definitely feel free to retreat if you just want to take another crack at it a different way. That is tip number 5. All right, tip number 6. Ensure, this is a pretty basic one as well, but ensure your hospitals and repair bays are at level 10. Alrighty guys, taking a look at the hospital. You just want to make sure this is showing level 10. And then this is your repair bay, and you want to make sure that's showing level 10. Bonus tip, if you have advanced repair bays and hospitals as well, make sure those are level 10s. Tip number 7 is to save your assists. Now, what does that mean? So what I would say at about, I wouldn't assist any friends on Wednesday, right? And this is your friends list right here. You want to make sure you have a lot of friends who are your guildmates. And I want to save those assists so you have 100 or 50 assists ready to go as soon as boss strike starts. Now, with those assists, I know you're going to want to use them on vehicle factories and barracks and stuff to get those bars and gears, but I would save them and make sure you have full assists ready to go for a boss strike start, and only assist your friends' hospitals and repair bays. Your friends are also going to be needing those units as well. So guys, make sure everyone in your guild is assisting each other each and every day on those hospitals and repair bays, so you can get those units back out and ready to fight in boss strike again. That's going to be crucial. Alrighty, and tip number 8 is going to be active every day. I understand it's a 4-day event, and I understand that there are going to be days where you can be more active than others. But at a minimum, at least do the bare minimum each day. And what I mean by that is make sure you're assisting your friends, as we just talked about, whether that be their hospitals or repair bays. Make sure that you are, donating all the resources available. Also, lastly, make sure you try and get at least 5 battles in per day. But that is tip number 8, is just be active every day and make sure to set aside time. And I mean, like, hey, I'm going to set aside Friday morning and Saturday afternoon to really go after it and get those boss strike points. Alrighty, tip number 9 is to make sure that all of your resources are maxed out, tier 1 and tier 2, by the time boss strike starts. And also make sure that you have the your tier 2 resource collectors on the highest level possible. So for this one, it'd be that carbon steel job. Make sure you have all those jobs ready to collect on top of being maxed out on resources. So for example, I want to be at as close to 21,000 steel as possible, and then also have this extra 4,100 steel waiting for me as soon as boss strike starts. So once those units go to the hospital or the repair bay, I have those resources ready to get them repaired and get them back on the field quickly, because I'm sure going to need them. Alrighty. And tip number 10, and this might seem a little straightforward, or how does this affect me in boss strike? But just hang on here. This is tip number 10. So tip number 10 is going to be engage with the community. What I mean by that is it can be engaged with your guild, engage in the Reddit, engage in the Discord, engage with other content creators. Just engage in the community. And the reason that I'm saying that is we have a very welcoming community in Battle Nations. There are lots of veterans here, and I know there are some new players coming as well. Feel free to reach out, join the Discord, talk in Discord if you're comfortable with it, VC in the Discord. These are great ways to pass the time during boss strike. I personally like to VC a lot or stream while boss strike is going on, and you'll see me around the community a lot. But make sure to go ahead and just engage with the community, because here's the deal. These are 10 awesome tips for you, and you're going to dominate with these tips, but there are going to be people in the community who have other tips that you're going to find really helpful as well. So engaging with the community is going to make boss strike more entertaining, and it's also going to allow you to find those extra tips that really just push you over the edge and make you the best Battle Nation player possible. Now, we just did 10 tips. I'm going to give one bonus tip real quick, because I was talking about this yesterday with somebody. But that is when Boss Strike first comes out, don't immediately put your max formation and attack it. Don't go balls to the wall as soon as you start out. What you want to do first, and I would say for the first 5 battles, just to get a feel for these formations, because we don't know exactly what they're going to look like for certain yet. I would just use UMGs and Wimps for the first 5 attacks on Boss Strike. And the reason I'm saying that is it allows you to get a feel for how the formations are going to look. It allows you to experience what it's going to be like, get you those first couple Boss Strike points out of the way, get comfortable with the Boss Strike, and then start to really think and strategize and say, oh, okay, well, now I want to place these here instead of these here. Or now you're going to be ready for your full formation. But that bonus tip is make sure that for the first couple of battles, you use just Wimps and UMGs to get a feel for it, to dip your toes in the water, and to make sure you're not suffering any unforeseen, insurmountable losses that are going to take too much to heal. Now with that, guys, I'm going to be posting my stream schedule here very soon. We are going to have that stream on Tuesday at 5:30, and that's going to be some final Boss Strike prep, some guild recruiting help. So if you're a guild that needs players or anything like that, make sure to be on that stream. We're going to try and help guild matchmake people. I'm going to be the guild matchmaker on Tuesday. And then I will be releasing my full Boss Strike stream schedule. That will be coming out very soon, and we will have a lot of collaboration for that. So guys, make sure to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on that notification bell because we have a lot coming through. And with that, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.